Good evening and welcome to another Indie Game Spotlight. We are definitely spoiling you all this week. Tonight, I'm excited to introduce Sebastian, also known as the RPG Renegade, who is no stranger to the Indie Game Spotlight. In fact, you were here around 4 months ago telling us all about the Senshi RPG. Tonight, we are going to delve into the pages of his new adventure for Senshi, Spirit of Vengeance. Welcome, Sebastian. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, anytime. I love your games, so absolutely anytime. Before we delve in, I'm going to have a look to see who's in the chat. So first and foremost, there's Dean, my usual co-host, who is lurking in the chat because he's still lurgified. So hopefully you'll be better soon, Dean, and you can come back and join me when I'm doing these things and we can have some fun. We have got, let's see who else we've got. We've got at F Society 18917. Hello and welcome. Look, you've joined the chatters too, Sebastian. Look,
Yes.
there you are.
Well, I didn't know how to say hi to Dean, so.
Oh, I think that's lovely. And we have Talon Grasp Games. Hello and welcome. We also have Low Eves. Hello. Lovely to see you. And we've also got Hat Games. So thank you very much for joining us in the chat. I know I didn't give you all much notice. Yes, you're definitely unclean, Dean. We didn't give you much notice. He's in source downstairs in the living room. It's like, you're not giving it back to me.
Reference. What is that? Bell around his neck.
Yeah, so he has to. Yeah, so he has to go around going unclean.
Oh God! You are a cruel mistress.
I am. Considering I gave him the cold to begin with, it's a bit.
That's
cruel,
even
really.
crueler.
So I am absolutely thrilled to have you back because I really loved Senshi and I loved hearing about everything that you'd done around bringing the world, the land of Japan to life. So what inspired you to create this new adventure?
So what I was doing is I had my my yearly sort of, I don't know how to describe it, my yearly dark mystery TV series binge.
Oh, right.
Where I started rewatching True Detective, Penny Dreadful, all the like really dark stuff. And then I was watching it and I was kind of stumped and I didn't know what kind of adventure I should do because I knew I had to do something that would incorporate the main game and the expansion, so I would have it would have a supernatural undertone. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was like totally sort of just blanking, and then I was sort of watching this and go, what if I just take this thematic and then fit it into like a feudal Japan time period? That would be interesting. And then adding stuff like demons and little unsavories. And what resulted around that was me basically just getting my groups together and kind of winging it with a general outline, and then we went through it. We still haven't finished it. We're planning on doing it next week, so hopefully I can finish it and then release the thing. But I am trying to release it by the end of the month. So I'm
thoroughly play tested, guys. This has been play tested. So you've gone through it with your group, and by the sounds of it, they're enjoying it.
I had very positive feedback, especially in the first chapter. Everyone was very impressed because it's not your typical, go there, wipe out a goblin fortress, come back. It's intrigue and it's mystery and it's sort of subterfuge, and you have to do a lot of detective work with the extremely limited resources that you have because it's feudal Japan. So and magic, you do have it, but it's very limited as well, like we mentioned in the last time. So it's kind of interesting because the players literally have to use their wits a lot. and they have to deduce stuff, and they have to write down clues. It is very much a detective game almost, but there's also, there's little
Pen
dungeons.
and paper required, guys. You've got to write down those clues.
Absolutely. They were writing everything down because things do get relevant. It's not just
Yeah.
when I keep mentioning things. There's tons of handouts that I gave to the players, and there were all clues there. So, and the big picture is pretty.
Oh, just a question on that, if I may.
Mm.
So things like the handouts. So you said that you gave your players handouts. Are all of these handouts included in the game?
Yes.
Fantastic.
It'll be included in the appendix. So basically, what I did was I put in the actual chapter that the GM reads. There'll be just a little text box with the actual what says in the handout, and then in the actual appendix there'll be like a proper, looks like a letter kind of.
Oh, cool.
Handout that you can print out, cut out, and then give to your players. So and there's plenty of clues on there. You have to pay attention to everything pretty much. It's not one of those easy to progress games unless you really dig in and figure out what's going on.
Excellent. So you've got handouts. So when you say it's a mystery and you're investigating, is it, what sort of setting is it? Is it a town setting? Is it sort of rural? How have you gone about doing this? Does it cover towns, rural?
Yeah,
all sorts
absolutely.
of different.
I would say mostly it's in towns. I would say it's about 60% urban, 40% wilderness. So like you're sort of traveling from town to town, and each town has its own little thing. You start with a little village, and then you move on to a bigger town, and eventually move on to a huge town, and then you go into the wilderness. So it's more like so I would say it's mostly urban, but given how these towns and villages and settlements in feudal Japan were, it can't really say it's fully urban even if you're in town, because it's like, for instance, in a village there's plenty of farmland and hills and all that stuff. So it's not just within the little town square. You often have to go outside to go to the ruined temple, or you have to go to the shrine, or the farm, or whatever. It's I would say it's mostly urban, but it's a good mix of both, and underground as well.
Excellent. So it's there's urban, there's rural, and underground. So when you say, and how many sort of underground sections have you got, if you don't mind me asking?
Let me think. Quite a few, actually. Probably about 6 or 7.
So you've got 6. So does this mean that you've got maps for all of these different? Oh, fantastic!
Yep.
So you've got maps. You've got handouts.
Yeah, they're a little. I'm still kind of working on the maps. They're a little more presentable because I drew them in. I don't know what it's called. This RPG map or RPG Maker, or some kind of free.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah,
one of the ones that does all the sort of little bits. There's RPG.
It looks kind of like an 8-bit. It looks kind of like an 8-bit aesthetic. Which didn't quite fit the thing, so I kind of threw it in Photoshop, and I'm giving it a bit of a facelift. So hopefully it'll be done a little better. But basically, there's maps. There's maps of towns, like actual towns. Like you have a picture of a town, and then there'll be little markings on little pointers and a short description, and then there'll be actual like battle maps with markers and everything, and each section detailed and all that.
Excellent. So does your adventure introduce any new classes into your system?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, unfortunately, no. This one's just the ones that are in the core book and the ones in the expansion. But it does introduce some new items, and it does introduce some new creatures, or I guess I should say like sub-professions. I mean, I guess in that sense it does, but more for the enemy side, not for the player side.
Ooh, enemy side. Well, in that case, let's start off with, do you want to give us an overview of some of the additional sort of items that you can get?
So I haven't got a full list yet because I'm still working on it.
No, that's fine. What's your favorite so far?
Let's see. Let me think. it's still not fully fleshed in my head because it's still in like notes and stuff. So I have to give me a sec to think
Well,
about this.
you're going to have to think hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And whilst Sebastian is thinking hard, guys, I'm going to ask you, because we do so much with indie games, could you, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, and just basically share the stream, let people know that we're doing this, bring people along, because we're gonna be doing more and more live indie game spotlights, because we love putting people like Sebastian on the pedestal to answer all of these interesting questions. So have you time to cogitate? What is
Yes.
your favorite new magic item you've introduced so far?
I will say, okay, so the one that the players, I'll say two, because one is one that the players can't really take with them. It's sort of a static one that kind of just screws with them until it's dealt with. Actually, I'm trying to be not spoilery here, so
Yeah,
give me a
no
sec.
spoilers.
Yeah,
No
yeah, because
spoilers.
so let's just say it's a kind of statue, like a little statue in a hidden little compartment.
Ooh.
And while that statue's there, certain blood magic is enhanced and keeps screwing with the player by giving them curses and stuff. And yeah, so that's
So spoiler alert, guys. When something weird starts happening, there's something hidden, but I haven't told you, all right?
yeah, but there's several places where that could happen, so it's not really spoilery. And then the other one, which I guess it's not a new item, but it's kind of, so basically there was already an item in the book, in the expansion, called a shintai, which is basically like it can be anything from a tiny little box all the way to a mountain. It's basically a just means a vessel for a god, right? And this one is like a little, I put in a little statue, or like a little, not even a statue, like a little urn you can take with.
Yeah.
And inside is either a spirit or a god.
Ooh.
And it can be any spirit or any god. And when you open it up, you'll figure out, and there's no other way to figure out than open it. So it's kind of like a wild card item that I put in the players. They still have it. They haven't used it yet. You know, as a GM, you know what's in there, but it could be anything.
We have a question. We have a question in the chat. So, are the enemy classes overlaid modifiers, ability packages, or something else?
I don't quite understand what overlaid means.
So have you? So and if I get this wrong, just type it in. But basically, where you've got your creatures, is it sort of or your enemy sort of classes that you were talking about? Is it overlaid on sort of your PCs? Do you use the same sort of stats as your PCs and you overlay something additional, or do you put it on top of sort of a creature template or something like that, or is it just modifiers, or have you got like a sort of, these are all the ability things that this bad guy has? Please tell me if I have got that completely wrong.
I think you got it right. Yeah. So so basically it's like this. Usually what I did was for two reasons: to save up on time a little bit, and also to not make it as not make every sort of creature encounter unique. I just wanted to make the important ones unique. So like a mob boss, or like stuff like that. So what I did was, I didn't really create new ones. What I did is I took the existing ones from the books and then modified them. So basically, I gave them either a different passive ability, or I gave them a different type of equipment, maybe a boost to their stats, maybe a penalty to their stats, stuff. I just modified the existing. Bang on, yeah. So I just modified what was there. So I kind of made an upgraded version or a downgraded version, what was already there, because there's plenty of stuff in the books already. So I would say that in terms of do the players have access to the same classes? Well, yes and no. Basically, in the original game, every class that the players have, there's no such thing as PC creation and NPC creation. It's always just character creation. So it's the same for both. So yes, they use the same pool of abilities and all that stuff. But there are at least one thing that can separate them a little bit, and that is their passive ability. Each character or each class or profession, whatever you want to call it, has a passive ability. So, for instance, a doctor would have a passive ability of being able to, if you take the field surgeon uh, passive, you would be able to heal your friends during combat. And so, if I made an NPC who could do that, you could have the same one. But, like for instance, because we're dealing with the supernatural here, there's obviously going to be certain passive abilities for the supernatural beings that the players can't have simply because they're not demons. So in that sense, there is a disconnect, but it's only in the passive ability. Everything else, including the stats and everything, how stuff is calculated, is pretty much follow the same formula. Supernatural beings have a bit of a boost in terms of their physical properties because they're very wacky in this mythology. So I would say yes and no. I mean, I would say it's like this: for the mortals, there's the same stat block as for you, the player mortals.
Yes.
There's the same character creation for you and them in terms of basically everything. For the supernaturals, there's more leeway, and for the animals, there's also a bit more leeway because obviously a bear has a much more higher strength than a human does. So stuff like that.
Excellent. So I like that because that's a lovely approach. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do, because we may have some people in the chat who don't know much about the core game.
Mm-hmm.
So before I go and ask you some more questions about things that have changed, do you want to give everybody an overview of Senshi, what it is, the setting the sort of setting that Senshi has around it, and what inspired you to make that game to start off with? Because I think that will add some context to the conversation.
Okay, so in short, Senshi is basically the original game without the expansion is a sort of authentic feudal Japanese game. So it takes place in feudal Japan in 1575. This adventure takes place in 1577, so it's a few years after. But generally, it's 1575, so towards the end of the 16th century. So it's the Warring States period. Basically, the clans are all at war. It's kind of this period's kind of ending, but the biggest battles are yet to come. So it's kind of a nation in turmoil. So think Japan, feudal Japan in turmoil, roaming armies everywhere, chaos, bandits, all kinds of cool stuff to adventure on. And it's a hard setting by default. So if you don't buy the expansion, there's no magic whatsoever. So it's like a pure setting. No supernatural stuff whatsoever. But then
always makes me sad when there's no magic.
Yeah, but that's why I made it a separate, because some people really, because on the other hand, a lot of people, because when you see it like new releases, almost all of it is magical, and I'm like, well, wouldn't that also make people kind of pine for something that isn't as well?
And I'd agree with you. And when you actually think about, feudal Japan, it's not as if it was rife with magic. In all honesty, so I think that's absolutely fine. But I know you've done your expansion that actually brings in some magic,
but it does so very delicately. So that's kind of my point. Is it's there, but it's not. It doesn't undermine the sort of the political intrigue and the bigger picture, which is like the clans and all that stuff. So, but it's there. So, and it's pretty powerful. It can be pretty powerful, but it's definitely a low magic system. So yeah, so I'd say it's feudal Japan. Basically, the system is a modified World of Darkness system. So I took the D10 World of Darkness system, which is usually you roll D10s and get count successes. I took that, gave it a twist, turned them into D12s, and added some few caveats and rules of my own, and kind of gave it this sort of pretty epic sort of dice system, because you can go in pretty crazy on the successes, and it's definitely one of those games where you can get killed in one blow if you're not careful. So I think that kind of gives it a
and I remember. Yeah, I remember when we did the Indie Game Spotlight 4 months ago, one of the things that I was really impressed with was the amount of research that you'd actually undertaken for feudal Japan. And if I remember rightly, you had a lot of the old artwork from Japan within the book, and it was absolutely stunning. So we will be posting the links to your DrivethruRPG and your itch.io. Guys, some of the artwork that was at it is beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. And
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to ask you about was the research that you've done. And has any of that research that you had to do for the main game, has it also helped you in the creation of your adventure?
Yes. So I did the research for this one because I thanks, Dean. Because well, the reason why it's amazing, Dean, is because it's real. It's actual artwork from that time. So it's not even
Yes.
nobody in this timeline drew it. So not even AI. So anyway, back to the topic. Yes, I did a lot of research for well, not a lot. I mean, I did some basic research to kind of set up the story. So whenever I do this kind of stuff, especially for this game, I kind of made it my mission to always sort of just give it a bit of a historical context, even if it's a supernatural story, even if it's whatever. I try to place it in a somewhat of a real event, because there's also, I don't know if you guys know this, and this is for the viewers as well. The original game, even the starter kit that you can pick up for, I think it's $1 on RPG, DrivethruRPG, because it's basically like a test version that you can test out. There's a free one shot in there, so it's a free one shot adventure that you can play in one setting. And that one has that one's also rooted in an actual historical event. So I try to keep this sort of theme going, where I take a real event from history, and then I kind of give it a twist. So I can give you what it's actually about in terms of the framework.
We will get there now. But Dean has just said your artwork, you got it from the
Yes.
museum archives, didn't you?
Correct.
See, he remembers. He remembers
everything. Yeah, he does. Everything from basically everything that's from 1920s. Yeah, 1926 and older. It's 100 years old, so basically it's in the public domain. So unless the guy who took the photo copyrighted the actual picture, but it's like a giant depository of like different pictures that they took in museums, and you can just go through them. And basically what I did is I either just pulled the whole picture in, just spruced it up, fixed the colors a bit, or I literally went through it into Photoshop and made a cutout. Like if I wanted like a cutout part of like for instance, I had a picture of Shoki, who's a demon hunter. He's fighting out 3 demons. I basically cut off that whole thing and I put it in so the text kind of overflows him. So yeah, that's the artwork, because that would have been, if that I didn't have that, I don't think this thing would even come out, because there's so much artwork in that book. It's 500 pages, so
yeah, it's a hefty tome.
It is
lots of information. So your research has really helped you with this. So are you going to give us a sneak sort of insight into how your adventure starts? What lures us as adventurers into this mystery?
I'm trying to be as clickbaity as possible and as less spoilery as possible.
Absolutely, fine line to walk there.
Okay,
fine line to walk.
I think I could give the historical context of it without issues, because that's just literally just the background. So it takes place in 1977. 1577.
That's a bit, 1977, where bell bottoms were all the rage.
Yeah, and funk music was everywhere. Okay, no. 1577. Basically, it's actually, I think I might have moved it to 1578. It doesn't matter. Point is, it's towards 1580. Basically, it's like the early 1580s, and basically, what happened during the time was a lot of battles took place, and it takes place in the Echigo province, which is a pretty large province that belongs to the Uesugi clan. And the daimyo, so kind of the lord of that clan, is one of the most famous lords in Japanese history, Uesugi Kenshin. He's also called the Dragon of Echigo. He's historically revered as one of the greatest men in that period. Sort of, he was a kind of a pretty just man, fair to his sort of subordinates and everyone. He was kind of a people kind of idolized him, um, but he was also like an absolute devil on the battlefield. Um, so he commanded a lot of respect, and he died, I think, in 1582. So this place takes place, or I don't think, or maybe 1580. I don't know the exact date out of my head right now, but basically, it's towards his death. Basically, we're moving because he's pretty old when the
Yeah.
adventure starts, and so I kind of took that inspiration and went, okay, what if I kind of gave a supernatural cause for his illness? So it's not an illness of natural causes; it's something else.
Okay.
Um, and basically, where the party starts is that his most loyal advisor kind of invites them to the royal hall and basically tells them that a strange murder has taken place in a nearby village,
Okay.
which put the peasants who are already destitute from like famine and stuff, and because they had to put all of their sort of food to the war effort because the clan's at war. So there's starvation everywhere, plagues as well. So people are pretty desperate. And then this murder happens, and it kind of throws the whole village into turmoil. And then everyone's like, "We're not gonna produce a single. We're not gonna send you any more grain." It kind of starts a little revolt,
Okay.
and the mayor's kind of like, "Yeah, I'm instituting a curfew, and until the daimyo sends some investigators down here to find the murderer, this village is not doing anything." It's kind of like an open rebellion, but at the same time, the daimyo doesn't want you to go there and just kill everybody because of their insolence, right? They want you to go there, find the murderer, bring him to justice, and then things go back to normal. And then obviously, things are not going to be that easy, and that's going to lead
No,
to bigger
never.
and bigger things. So that's kind of the setup for the game.
That sounds great. So we've talked a little bit now. I know that on the supernatural side with the expansion. So is this meant to be played with the expansion because the supernatural element?
Yes, you do need to have the original book and the expansion. If you buy this adventure, or I guess if you already bought the original book and the expansion, I'll send you a 15% discount on this adventure. So for everyone on their emails on DrivethruRPG. So basically, if you have, you'll get a little discount for this one as well. It won't be that
That's cool.
expensive. It's smaller. It's a smaller book. Probably be about 130 pages, I'm assuming, maybe less. Yeah. So yeah, but you do need both books, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter because I did which book you have, because I did release the original book and then I released the revised edition. So it's compatible with both. So you either have to have one or the other, and the expansion. So you need two
And
books.
the expansion.
Yeah.
And the expansion is the supernatural pieces and sort of the slight sort of
which
so
are intertwined in the
which are
story.
all intertwined.
Yeah.
So does that mean that does the adventure introduce any sort of new spells or new supernatural things that we need to know about?
In the terms of what the players can use, no, because I think there's already a bunch of stuff. I mean, I could introduce a bunch more kami as again, like I did last time when I had that whole list of kami. But I thought there's already plenty of choices there. Basically, what there would be like new phenomena in the book. So like new magical phenomena that the book doesn't describe initially, but it'll describe in here. So like when they, try not to be spoilery here, when they go to one of the final areas, I'm not gonna say where, but when they go to one of the final areas, let's say it's a little bit damp in there, and dark. There's probably going to be some phenomena there that they haven't seen anywhere in the book. So, but it will be explained in this book. So you know the players will be able to make rolls and figure out what the hell's going on. So there will be new stuff like that. I was a bit minimalistic with the new stuff. I didn't want to go too much because at the same time, there's already so much stuff in the book. I thought, why not just take that, put it in, and then modify some things, make it a little different.
Say
So
hello
yeah,
to Judge. Yes,
hello.
there we go, Judge. Can you behave and sit over there? You see, he's so interested. He's trying to say hello.
Cats.
Um, so that sounds really interesting. So when you have a look at it, so you've got your main book, you've got your expansion, and you've got your adventure. So your
Hmm.
adventure gives you plenty of places to go and actually investigate and get involved in these mysteries. You've got some new items. You've got some new premises that you've all interwoven. What would you say has been sort of the major highlight for your players? What is the sort of feedback that you've had from your play tests without giving away any spoilers?
Hmm.
What is the sort of feedback that you've had that's made you go, yeah, this is definitely right?
I think they enjoy the complexity of the intrigue.
Yeah.
Basically, when you have a mystery, any kind of mystery, um, this is something that I notice a lot of times when I'm like watching a movie or reading a book that has a mystery in it that's slowly being revealed over time. What always pops in my head right at the beginning is, okay, but will the reveal be worth it?
Yes.
Because think of Lost. When you
Oh,
get to the end and you're like, Ugh, really, this is it? And then this is something that I never want to do. Whenever I make a mystery, I want the final sort of reveal to be, you know,
worth it.
to blow you out of the chair. Well, not literally, but sort of just go, wow, okay, I didn't expect that. So, and I sort of feed the party little breadcrumbs on what the actual full picture is. Right now, they're at the end of chapter 3. There's just started chapter 4, and then there's chapter 4, and then the epilogue. So they're close to the end, and they still don't have the full. They kind of have like 65% of the whole full picture, right? I saved the last like 30% for the finale. So, and then when I'm hoping that I don't know this yet, but I'm hoping when they get there, when they see that finale, they're gonna go, oh crap, and then they're gonna. It kind of prompts you to make a very quick decision. I'm not gonna say what that is,
Oh, that's going to be
but
exciting.
but
So
also,
Dina
yeah,
said, so Dina
hmm,
said in the chat, he said endings can make or break a good mystery.
absolutely.
So so I take it you've actually spent a lot of time sort of piecing all of this together,
Hmm.
working it all out, weaving all of those clues throughout the whole game. And
Yeah.
so is there sort of, as well as piecing stuff together, have you also got a lot of political intrigue as well? Because that's big in Japan, isn't it?
Oh
Political
yeah,
intrigue.
in that period, I mean, it was pretty much all just geopolitics. Like what clans are we at war with? Who's neutral? Who's is this guy gonna backstab me? It was all there was pretty much 24/7. Just that. So yeah, that obviously plays a role here. Um, so I tried to give the impression that when you're playing the adventure and when you're sort of going through it, you're there's that little sort of, how should I put it, like a little side note in your head that's going, oh, this clan's screwing with us. But it's kind of like it is a side thing. It's not a main thing, but it's like to give you context, to give you the idea that the clan that you're with right now, they're very powerful and they have a very charismatic leader and everything. They're in big trouble. They're in big
Right.
trouble. They have enemies everywhere. The peace treaties that they have are just for now. They could break it any
Bit
second.
wobbly. Bit
Yeah,
wobbly.
everything's wobbly. That's something I intentionally did, make it everything wobbly, because usually when the daimyo died, if he didn't have an heir, that was a big problem. But he does have an heir, but it's like, even if he doesn't have an heir, the heirs, they're pretty young. So it would be taken over by a child. It's that can throw the entire clan into turmoil. So basically, um yeah, there is political intrigue, not to the extent that I guess, again, I'm trying not to be spoilery here, it's really difficult. uh
It's always hard when you're talking about an adventure
yeah.
to because I was going through last night on another show, and we were looking at someone's adventure after the show. We're going through it, and I'm thinking, yeah, how can you talk about an adventure without constantly giving away secrets? And we had it with Grim Games the other night when we're going through, and he's basically almost, taking us through lots of the adventure. But it again, it looked brilliant and it sounded great. And I think it's the same with you. You've got this lovely adventure, lots of intrigue.
Mhm.
You've got a layer of politics on there as well, which I think just adds to that sort of mystery. You're going to give out, just a recap for anybody new who's joined. You're going to be giving out little sheets and everything with lots of information. There's lots of maps in there. There's underground pieces. It's urban and it's rural. So you've got all of this transitions. You're having to build it all up and capture all that information as you go through. And I think that weaves a really interesting sort of premise. And yeah, I really like the sound of it.
I'll give you one more thing. I hope it sounds
Give give
right.
me
I
give
don't
me
think it
give
is.
me some give me some snippets. Go on.
Okay,
You know you
so
want to.
you there was a layer of political layer over it. I would say there's a political layer underneath all of it
Ah.
that the players don't necessarily know it's there until the end.
So
And
does that mean that their actions throughout will actually
oh
influence
yeah,
what happens?
oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
now I
yeah,
like
oh yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, we can get into that. But um, the reason why it's called Spirit of Vengeance is because of that sub layer.
Ah.
That's I don't think I can say more without
Without
revealing
giving it
everything.
away.
So
No, I don't want you
yeah,
to spoil anything. Don't
but
want you to spoil
I
anything.
would say that so there's like a overarching political intrigue that kind of gives context to how the clan is sort of in trouble and kind of their relationships with their neighboring clans and everything else, right? So there's that's throughout the adventure. That's just sort of I don't know, uh, just context, I guess. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's this that I mentioned. There's an undertone that the players don't really know it's there until the very, very end. So I guess very end, I would say in chapter 4, like sort of towards the end of chapter 4. And when they realize what that undertone is, that leads them into the prologue, epilogue. Sorry.
So that's great. So my question is some of their actions in the earlier chapters, can that actually change the sort of reveal in chapter 4?
Um, no, it won't change the reveal, but their actions will have consequences for like the people around them. So basically, the way I set it up is you're all working for the Yasugi clan. You're all sort of either you're all how do I put this? You're both every player, every character, every player character is sort of related, but not. I'm missing the words. Basically,
Aligned. They're all
no, no,
aligned with the same clan?
yeah, but by blood as well.
Ah,
So,
right. So it's all
so
kin. It's all
common ancestors, basically.
right. Yeah.
So, because the thing is, in Japan, if you were not if your bloodline could not be connected to the clan's bloodline, basically you couldn't be a samurai unless you were adopted by the daimyo, and then you were basically like a bastard child. So but everyone in the group that's kind of like the setup when you make a character, like you're all working for the Yasugi clan and you all have a blood connection sort of or a bloodline connection to the actual to the ancestors of the Yasugi clan, and that comes into play. That actually comes into play. That bloodline and your connection via blood. Remember, I mentioned blood magic. Um,
Ooh.
so that's gonna start screwing with their heads. So basically, they're kind of working for them, but it doesn't limit their professions. They don't have to be samurai. They can be any profession. It's just sort of they work for the Yasugi clan, and they're not just working for them. They're also basically related to them.
Yeah, so there's an actual tie that links them all heavily into the adventure.
Mhm.
So does that mean that they get to create characters, or is it all
Oh,
pre-generated
absolutely. No, 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 no,
characters?
no, no, no. No pre-gens. The one shot had 7 pre-gens, but that's because when you bought the game, so it'd be like, ready to go out of the box
Yeah.
basically. So you got a one shot. Oh, I pick a character. Let's go. Um, that's why I made pre-mates there, but I didn't intentionally didn't even make pre-mates here because the whole idea is make your character for this campaign. Because it takes about 10 sessions to complete. It's not super long, but it's or it could take longer depending on if you take your time. But the idea is, make your character, where you want it to be.
Mhm.
The only caveat is that you're sort of connected to the client. Also, oh, and this is what I was trying to say earlier. I forgot. So because you're working for the clan, your orders you get from the clan when they send you to like the village, for instance, for the first mission, they don't tell you how to accomplish your goals.
Oh,
They
no, of
just tell
course
you,
not.
they tell you, find the culprit, bring him to justice or their head, whatever. Um, make sure the trade flow between the towns is not obstructed, meaning if something happens on the road, maybe a threat assist. And basically that's it. Those are two objectives. So however you complete them, whether you do total intrigue or you beat the crap out of 50 villagers to find out where someone's hiding,
Oh, no.
it's not it doesn't limit you in your choices, but obviously those choices will have consequences in the terms of usually it's your character's honor that's going to suffer the most, which is kind of like the alignment system in this game. It's going to suffer the most, and your reputation obviously as well, um and your traits. You can become cruel, or whatever you do is going to have a consequence in that sense. And there's quite a lot of npcs in this adventure. So the way I managed to sort of give every npc kind of a role in the adventure, either a little
Yeah.
side role to help you, or a little clue, or a little side quest, or something. None of them are like just throwaway npcs. Everyone's got a purpose in the
That's
story.
nice.
So yeah, and so you're not limited to your devices and your methods, just the goals. You just have to accomplish the goal. Obviously, if the the guy who gave you the order, your royal sort of the royal advisor, because he comes to check on you a few days after to see what happened in the village. Obviously, if he comes to the village and everyone's dead and you're there like sitting like, we
Yeah,
didn't do
trying to
anything.
find a murderer and then murdering a load of people is probably not the way to do it, I
You're gonna
would
have to
have
do a lot of
thought.
explaining.
Yes, I think that would get some eyebrows raised. Oh, we have someone
Oh,
else
that's
in the
that's a friend of mine.
chat.
That's a friend of mine.
Well, we're gonna say hello.
You can't even read that. It's local.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it means
no, I'm going to
let's say
say,
it means friends. It means hey friend. Let's
well,
just leave it at
well, it was hello at Superboy.
that. He's a childhood friend of mine.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, thank you very much for coming and joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it. And feel free, if you've got any questions you want to ask, just pop them in the chat. There we go. So,
yeah,
without spoilers, so of course you've got all of the intrigues sections. You've got all of this coming together. So, if I was to ask you how you would summarize this in order to get people to go out and get your game, get this particular adventure, how would you summarize it for me?
the elevator pitch, essentially.
Yes, please.
Oh God, I usually do that at the end when I'm publishing the game.
But you see this way.
Yeah, you threw me on the spot.
I know, but this is the joy of having a live indie game spotlight.
All right,
The spotlight is on you. You can have a think.
Okay,
in the meantime,
go
we
ahead.
will see if there's no more questions in the chat. So go on.
So basically, if you're into an adventure that's sort of complex in nature and gives you a lot of freedom to do what you want, and also is in a setting that you're generally not used to, in terms of both the there's not a lot of games that take place in feudal Japan. So and this one has also got its whole mythology in it. So it's very much playing True Detective in 1577. So if you
Excellent.
like that, this is the adventure for you. Don't worry, there's also combat, there's also battles. There will not be shortage of that, but they're not the main focus. Or they
So
can
we
be if
have.
you're a homicidal maniac.
So we'd also like to say hello to Benny85.
That's
No,
also one of
yeah,
my friends.
8595, another friend of yours who's popped
Yeah,
in to say,
he's
hey,
one of my
hey.
regular playtesters. Not for this
So,
this game, but he's one of our main group members.
so I'm trying to figure out, is there anything that I haven't asked you about? We've talked a little bit about creatures, we've talked about
Ask
items,
away.
we've covered an awful lot. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the future. So when do you think this will be out, sort of end of the month, sort of maybe beginning of September?
I'm aiming for end of the month. Hopefully I can get it by the 31st. If not, it'll be very early September, so first, second, third. So look for it late August, early September. So within the next 2 weeks. That's for the digital version. Once that's out, I'll order the proof copy, and then I'll have to wait for anything sent by mail. It'll take a few weeks, and then I have to check it, see if everything's cool. If everything's cool, that'll be probably 3 weeks from the, or maybe three, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks from the original digital release. You'll all be able to get the printed version.
So digital release will be end of August, beginning of September. Physical release end of September, and then Sebastian, what are we gonna go on and do
I have
next?
plenty of plans. Don't worry. The thing is not.
I know,
not
that's why I'm asking.
The problem isn't not having plans. The problem is having plans.
But what is your next plan? Because if I know what it's like, I have got plans upon plans upon plans upon plans. But what is the next plan? Where do you see yourself going from here? Is it going to be a completely new system? Is it another adventure in Senshi? What sort of thing is sort of leaping out to you that you think you'll be going on to after you've got this adventure completed and out?
Well, I still have to think about that. I'm not sure, but I have a few things sort of prepped and ready to go in terms of starting development properly. I still have to do some research in terms of how feasible they are, because as you know, this game is very easy to make in terms of money because all the artwork's free. So the other one, I'll have to either use AI or I'll have to hire artists, or so I'm still struggling with that. So either there's a few things I might do. One is I might do a new project entirely, which would be a heist game. So basically, like, think Heat, Ocean's 11, stuff like that. No magic, hard setting, just pure heisting, tons of gadgets.
We like magic.
No, but not in this. Honestly, this is like
no, it'd be a bit hard to the heist, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, and also I did research on this, and apparently there's a lot of people want to have like a proper heist game without the magic, because either they get it and there says magic in it, or they just want like a pure, gadgets and skills. So that would be a new system, or I guess again a modified system that I would take from somewhere else. I was thinking of a modified GURP system for it. I'm not set on that. Don't. I might change it.
We will wait and find out to see what sort of system you use for your heist. That'll be interesting.
There's a few ideas floating in my head, but I still have to. One, I'll have to do a playtest with a very bare bones sort of pre-alpha build of the system with my group, and see how it works, if it even works, and whatever works best, I'll use that. So I'll do that, and the twist there is going to be that it's going to take place in the early 90s. So that's deliberate, so as to not have stuff like smartphones and such, because that makes things a lot
Yeah.
harder. It makes things a
Yeah.
lot harder. Hacking is also gonna be a thing, like a whole mini game. And you're also gonna be working for a mysterious sort of organization called the Penumbra Corp, which is basically a nobody knows much about it, but they just give like heist contracts, and they're always above board in terms of you're never stealing from some random guy, you're always stealing from some evil bastard. So it's like you always have a moral motivation as well to do the things. You're not just a thief. You're a thief with standards. So I'll either do that. That's one project possible.
Yeah.
The other one, I have no idea if I can even pull off. That's gonna be it's gonna be completely new territory. So I also have a board game that I made,
Ooh.
but I made, and I mean that loosely. I mean in the virtual world, I made it. So I made it in tabletop simulator. So I made all the cards. I made the artwork for the cards. I put on all the cards. I have all the decks. But now putting it in physical form, I did find a website apparently where you can literally do it, where you can just sort of order the pieces and then do every piece. So that you can literally do it like similar to how you would publish a book. Japanese Robin Hoods. I think you're.
I think he's getting his games mixed up now.
Yeah. I was talking about the heist game that I
heist
might
game.
do, the new one,
Yeah.
the 1990s sort of heist game. Different game, Dean. But yeah,
I think he probably
not Robin Hoods. You steal for yourself. You don't give it to anybody. But but you're stealing from assholes. You're stealing from the bad and giving to yourself. You're not Robin Hood. You're just a thief. But you're not just robbing a mom and pop store. You know what I mean? So okay. So yeah, the board game. So I have all the cards down. I did like 6 or 7 playtests. People, I mean, my group thinks it's pretty cool. I still have some work to do. It's called Primordial. It's basically the twist is you're playing a tribe. So you're playing a tribe in like prehistoric times. Not even prehistoric, but like maybe like Iron Age, not prehistoric. So there's a bit of technology. And then the twist is that aliens have abducted you and put you on a different planet along with other tribes from Earth. And they got this whole little they got this sort of real life reality TV show thing going on where they watch the planet, everyone, and they all have to do this sort of planet wide, what's it called? Battle Royale, where you have to be the last tribe standing and your reward is going back home. So basically, it's like you have to survive and you have to use all your wits and everything. So you're tribesmen from like different tribes. So it's kind of like a mixture of different tribes. And then you have to survive in the wilderness, and you have little tiles you can explore, gather resources. I would say it's a mixture of Catan, Talisman, and Arkham Horror. I don't know if you know any of those.
Yes, no, I've played all of those.
Oh, okay.
I've played all of those. So yes, that's
in a tribal setting.
In a tribal setting. Yeah. So it's also small tribes as well.
And there's a little bit of magic in it. There's a sprinkle of it, but not much, like sort of supernatural potions and stuff like that, but not like actual casting magic. But there's like, like supernatural potions and stuff like that.
So that sounds great. So you've got a physical game that you're potentially looking at doing, which is a tabletop. You've got a heist game, which is a TTRPG that you're looking at doing. So that's what the future is going to hold for you.
I got a third one as well.
A third one as well.
Well, the idea that I might do, but that one's probably the most ambitious because, in a way, it's the second edition for my first game.
Yes.
There's many things I want to change. I put a full list. I'm going to do a lot of overhauls, but this is a very monumental project because it's like I want to do like a big overhaul of everything that I think I could have done better and curb back the setting a bit. It was a bit too crazy, make it a bit more grounded. All these kind of changes that I want to do, but it's like the laundry list is insane.
Well, I tell
So
you what, right? So you're going to get your adventure out now.
mhm.
So that's digital end of August, beginning of September, physical end of September, guys. Don't forget that. Then when you've got your next project underway, when you're ready to talk about it, we can get you back on to tell us all about it, and it'll
Mhm.
be exciting. Guys, let us know in the comments, which one do you reckon Sebastian should do next? We got the TTRPG that is a heist set in the 90s.
That's very pre-alpha. I'm just putting it.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't have a lot of information about that one yet.
Yeah,
But yeah.
pre smartphone 90s heist game. All right,
Mhm.
that's choice number one. Choice number two is a board game, which is a sort of mix of Arkham Horror, Catan, Small Tribes, and you mentioned another one, Talisman.
But Talisman
So
is PvP, so this one's co-op. This is like a fully co-op game.
fully co-op. I like co-ops. Dean and I are a fan of co-ops, and I love Arkham Horror. It's one of my favorites. Or a complete overhaul of his first game. What do you think? What do you think that Sebastian should do for his next project after he's released this adventure? Pop it in the comments and let us all know.
I might just do a full 180 and then just do another adventure.
Might do something completely different just to confuse us all.
Yeah.
But can I just say thank you so much for joining us today. It has been absolutely thrilling. And with that, I'm going to start wrapping up. Is there anything else you want to tell us about your adventure or Senshi right now before we close up for the night?
The board game.
Yeah, team wants the board game. Oh, hang on. We've got a question. We never go if there's a question. We always have to answer questions. What RPG should a total beginner get into? Oh, that's a very interesting question.
I'll let you answer that one because you're probably more well-versed than me in like D&D and stuff.
I would say, and I'm going to actually steal one of Dean's answers to this, and he can tell me in the chat if I'm getting it right or not.
Do their game. Buy their game.
Well, other than the fact you should always just buy Untold Destiny, and Untold Destiny is great, especially basic edition. But I would suggest that you look at some of the original D&D, some of the old OSR, because it's easy to get up and running. Shadowrun is another one that's really easy to get into, up and running. Once our Untold Destiny Basic Edition comes out, that is also going to be dead easy to get up and running. I would always aim for those. Those are a really good sort of TTRPG to get you going. And I think the main thing I would say is that any TTRPG, you can pick up any TTRPG, just get with a group that will take you through. I remember my first ever game, which was 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, was my first ever game.
2nd edition?
Yeah,
Advanced
that was my first ever. And
bold move.
I'd never played a role-playing game before in my life. And it got to my turn and I went, I don't know what to do. But if you're with a group, they will take you through it. There's never any embarrassment. You learn really quickly. So I would say any game is fine. But I would say that your basic sort of your really basic D&D, not 5th ed. It's boring. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, please.
I started on 5e, I agree.
But yeah, if you go to the basic, our Untold Destiny Basic Edition is great for beginners. Also Shadow Dark, great if you want something.
I think you said Shadowrun before. Yeah, I think you meant Shadow Dark you meant, right?
Shadowdark's easy, but Shadowrun's also
Oh,
quite
is it?
easy
Oh,
to.
you mean the
Yeah,
earlier editions?
yeah, the early, yeah,
Because I played
yeah.
5e and it's a dice fest.
It's something. It's not too bad. I think that you can learn any TTRPG as long as you're just with a group that's a little bit patient and will take you through it. I've never seen a TTRPG that I've gone, oh my god, I can't play this. And now we've played a number of indie TTRPGs as well, and again, they're all excellent, as in you can start getting rolling. So, yeah, that would be my advice,
I
and
would
the main thing
recommend.
is
Sorry, no, go
just
ahead.
find people to play with you, and as
Yeah,
soon as you've got people to play, you're fine.
I would say that's more important. Not even the game, but just the group. Because if you get a good group, you can really run everything.
Rifts. No, Rifts isn't
I
easy.
haven't played Rift, so I have no idea.
I haven't really played, I haven't really played much Rifts at all. I know Dean has, and I know it's very complicated. I haven't given it a proper go. World of Darkness, of course, I
That's
didn't think of
that
that
was
one.
not gonna say
Yeah,
that. Yeah. I was
World of
about to
Darkness.
recommend Vampire because,
Vampire,
or just in
yes.
general, World of Darkness, because I think it all uses the similar system, just different rules.
Yeah.
Um, I started with Vampire. Actually, I'm playing in a not 5e. 5e sucks. V20. Don't play 5e. It's horrible. V20, the Anniversary Edition, probably the best one. Uh, Amazing book. Everything's written in there. Anything you need, you can find. Everything's well explained. It's great book. Huge book, great book. I played with. I'm playing in a V20 campaign right now with Benny, who's in chat actually. So he's so we're playing in a V20, and it's pretty cool. I mean, you have to check with rules sometimes. There's quite a few rules, but overall, it's a very simple kind of thing where you just pick a tribute, pick a skill, or and pick a tribute, pick an ability, put them together, dice pools, throw it. That's it. You can pretty
Yeah.
much accomplish anything because there's so many different combinations you can do. You can figure out any sort of skill roll you can possibly imagine.
It's
So
it's it's all good fun, isn't it? And
yeah,
I think it's funny. I've played a number of games now, and one of my favorites actually was always Earth Dawn. And so I
I've run that.
started off with second edition AD&D. I played a lot of Earth Dawn, played a lot of Shadowrun, and all of them I thoroughly enjoyed. So yeah, I think find something basic to start off with, but don't let any of the complicated games put you off because they're not actually that complicated. Ooh, I'll have to join you sometime. I have
We'll
no
figure that
idea
out.
where to find players for these games. Feels like a dying art in this digital era.
Yeah,
Can I
a
just
little bit.
say, if you try game shops, tend to have places where there's groups. There's also a number of online sort of areas where you can actually do a looking for group. For example, in the UK, we have got RP Haven, which is actually a charity where they hold game nights and stuff like that, and you pay a little sub, which isn't very much, and then they donate all of the money at the end of the year to a particular charity. So you've got places like this, and different countries have got different sort of groups, but you tend to find these sort of like gaming areas tend to be around where there's like game shops and stuff like that. So have a look for your shops, see if they've got a nice pin board with looking for group. You can even stick a something on there with a pin saying I'm looking to join a group to play games. And that's great. And I find, and I've played virtually and I've played around the table, I will 100% say get round a table, hold the dice, roll those dice. It's so much better than playing online.
It
And I
is.
know people will tell me I'm just old, but it is
No, no,
better.
no, no.
It just feels better.
It is better. Look, if you always have a choice between virtual and physical, go IRL. Have the dice in your hand. Trust me, it is better. I second that. although I will say this, the group that, so for instance, Benny that posted just now, he's one of the main guys in the main group that we have been going on since 2018 now, so it's 8 years. And we actually met on Roll20 when I was posting one of my earliest adventures, and I was looking for play testers, and I was having these open play sessions on Roll20. And he joined in along with 3 others, and most of those are still in the group today. So I mean, if we could get together and do a physical game, we would. But since 2 of them are from Hungary and 2 of them from New Zealand, it's a bit
It's a long
difficult.
way. But never say never. Never say never.
No, we're actually planning on meeting somewhere, so it's going to be interesting.
That'll be fun.
So I will say, if you have the option of, I don't know, playing with your next door neighbor online or meeting up behind a table, meet behind a table.
Yeah, I do think that that's actually sat around a table, dice, nice drink on the table.
Yeah,
have some snacks. Don't forget to bring the GM some snacks, and just enjoy yourselves. But yes, game shops, in my honest opinion, if you're struggling to find in-person games, find yourself a game shop. You will normally find a route in there. There are groups on Facebook for looking for groups in different areas, so I'm pretty sure there's stuff there. And I don't know, maybe we should do something on X or something like that, or Indie Game Guild, where people are looking to get groups together. It's a thought for the future. But with that, Sebastian, is there anything else you'd like to tell our lovely audience about your game, about your plans, and we will wrap it up for the evening?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the only thing in the works. Like I said, those other 3 things are on the back burner. So
we will look forward to hearing all about those.
Look for the game. So it's going to be Spirit of Vengeance. It's going to land on DrivethruRPG initially in digital form. It'll be later available in print. But it'll also be immediately available in print on Lulu if you want to get the print version immediately. But you have to go through Lulu, and then it'll be also in digital only on itch.io. So
fantastic. And what I'm just going to do now is just pop into the chat for everybody your DrivethruRPG, so everybody knows where to get that. And guys, we will also put in against the YouTube video, we'll put in all of Sebastian's links. Please go check him out. He's worked, he won't say this, but he's worked his little heart out on Senshi, and it's beautiful. It's got some real class about it. Go check it out. And with that, Sebastian, thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you all on the next Indie Game Spotlight.
All right. See ya.
Night, night.